Today, human rights and environmental defenders who are exercising their freedom to speak, to denounce, to organize, and to envision a sustainable world for all of us are being killed in record numbers. My response as a documentary filmmaker is to create and support powerful narratives that defend fundamental human rights in combating entrenched inequities and repression in societies around the world. Because one of the major challenges that human rights and environmental defenders face is the effectiveness of powerful corporate and state-owned media in deploying narratives that seek to discredit and criminalize them. They silence freedom of expression, and they increase existential threats against human rights defenders, creating a climate where grave crimes are committed with impunity. As part of a human rights media organization at Skylight, we believe that it is necessary and possible for grassroots social movements to challenge state and corporate-generated narratives by building powerful and effective counter-narratives of our own that broaden constituencies for human rights, thereby creating a level of social protection in public opinion. Powerful stories told move public opinion to demand accountability, to challenge impunity, and to transcend present realities to generate a vision of what's possible. Here's an example. In Guatemala, we've collaborated closely with the Mayan movement for justice for over 35 years. Material filmed for our documentary, When the Mountains Tremble, in 1982, was used by Guatemalan human rights lawyers as key evidence in the genocide trial of the former dictator, General Efraín Ríos Montt. The film contributed to successfully challenging the narrative promoted by corporate media and the economic elite that genocide against the Mayan people had never happened in Guatemala. In Peru, we worked closely with local human rights organizations in the production of State of Fear, a documentary film and impact campaign that brought the findings and conclusions of the Peruvian Truth and Reconciliation Commission to a broader audience. This countered the toxic narratives launched by the enemies of the Truth Commission that wanted to suppress knowledge of the Truth Commission's findings. I know that when filmmakers collaborate with social movements to tell stories together, we can supersede attempts to limit our freedom of expression. Together, we artists and activists can create a powerful virtuous cycle that both strengthens social movements and takes the films out into the wider world. With this idea in mind, we launched the Skylight Solidaridad Labs program in Colombia to create a network of Colombian filmmakers and activists collaborating to develop narrative strategies, telling stories that strengthen human rights, social movements, and civic action. We subsequently took Solidaridad Labs to Mexico and Guatemala, and most recently back to Colombia with Solidaridad Labs Afro-Colombia. We reflected on the fact that an effective way to protect defenders on the ground has been the personal accompaniment by international volunteers. The Solidaridad Labs network invited former physical volunteers from human rights organizations such as Peace Brigades International to join and invited them to accompany defenders virtually through a mobile application we're developing. This new initiative and app is called VIVEX, for Virtual International Volunteers Exchange, or in Spanish, Voluntarios Internacionales Virtuales. In public campaigns that will be launched by the VIVEX network, these narratives will challenge the official story that seeks to stigmatize and criminalize human rights and environmental defenders as terrorists or enemies of economic development, and instead uphold the positive concept that defenders are seeding the future by protecting the earth for all of us as the first line of defense. The VIVEX network has as its connective tissue a mobile application developed collaboratively with defenders based on their own suggestions, their expressed needs and preferences and resources that they have requested. Defenders in the VIVEX network are accompanied by an interdisciplinary cohort of volunteers drawn from the ranks of human rights practitioners around the world, including pro bono lawyers, self-care specialists, and digital security experts. So where do we want to go with VIVEX? We see Vivex as a replicable model that we would like to expand throughout Latin America and then throughout the world. It's a new tool for promotion of civic engagement and social protection of environmental and human rights defenders. Because through skilled filmic storytelling that strengthens the network and counters the toxic narrative, threats, and attacks targeting defenders, Vivex will grow as members of the network invite other defenders and activist artists to join and amplify their impact. Human rights and environmental defenders are the most courageous people that I have ever met. Courage begets courage. Courage is contagious. The world belongs to the brave.